that Mary is so into this that she even appeared on television. 1968, Mary appeared in Zetum, Egypt, hovering above St. Mark's Coptic Church. She was there, 1968, especially at night. Everybody could see her. It wasn't just visionaries, like a few people at Fatima, a few children, or Medjugorje. The church that she appeared on is believed to be the same place that Mary and Joseph and Jesus stopped at their flight into Egypt. This church is dedicated to the Holy Family. And the reason this church is dedicated to the Holy Family is because, again, they believe Mary, Joseph, and Jesus went there and rested during their stay in Egypt. That's why they built this church to the Holy Family. And this is where Mary appeared on the church. So let's look at our next slide. You can see Mary very clearly appearing on the top of this church. Now, what's fascinating is Christians, Jews, Muslims, they all saw her. Even unbelievers saw her. She was up there, and it was broadcast on television. So an estimated 40 million people saw her. 40 million. And the apparition was approved by the Orthodox Pope. So unlike other apparitions, it was not just visionaries, but everyone saw her. This is fascinating. It doesn't stop there. In 2014, Boko Haram, Muslim terrorists took 200 young girls in Nigeria, and a Catholic bishop was ready to take up arms to condone it. And he had a vision that Jesus appeared to this Catholic bishop in Nigeria, and Jesus was holding a sword. And the bishop's like, yes. And he reached his hands out, and Jesus handed this sword to this bishop. And the bishop took the sword, and it turned into a rosary in his hands. It turned into a rosary. And so this is an example. And he said the rosary was the weapon to overcome Boko Haram. After that, most of those girls were released, and Boko Haram surrendered. We have a priest that's maybe coming back, but he had to go back to Nigeria, named Father Richard, the nicest guy in the world. I went to him for confession. You ever want to go to one of the best confessors ever, go to Father Richard from Nigeria. He's not here now, but you basically could tell him anything, and he would be seeing the good in it. I'm like, my goodness. And Father Richard was telling a story. Father Richard told me the story that he was celebrating Mass in Nigeria. And he was celebrating Mass, and in walked a dozen Islamic terrorists strapped with explosives. They were going to blow up the church. All of a sudden, the leader fell to his knees, and he went into a trance. Now, all his other assistants were around him, but this guy fell to his knees, and he went into a trance, Father Richard said, and all of a sudden he stood up, and his partners are all looking at him, and he goes, Jesus is Lord. Jesus is God. They're like, huh? He had a vision of Jesus and Mary, and Jesus showed him his divinity, and Mary took his hand and led him to Jesus. This is our whole faith, to Jesus through Mary. And he got up and he told all the others that were ready to blow up this church that Jesus is God and Mary is the way to him, and they all converted. Why don't we hear about this? If we heard about this, this is the purpose of why I'm teaching you, to take you back to seminary, so that we can understand, yeah, there's fundamental differences, but look at the connection. There's hope, but we gotta pray. We gotta believe. We gotta have faith.